The Apollo West Carson Players presents their 23rd annual Black History Celebration. A salute to the Negro Baseball League player Alfred Robinson of the world-famous Birmingham Black Barons, and a tribute to the educational accomplishments of former EOP Director of California State University Dominguez Hills, Professor James H. Clayton. Sunday, February 22nd, 3 p.m. at Cal State Dominguez Hills Student Union Ballroom, 1000 East Victoria Street, Carson. Hi, I'm Tammy Mack. Join me and the Apollo West Players Sunday, February 22nd, 3 p.m. at Cal State Dominguez Hills Student Union Ballroom. Join Charles Walker and me as we recognize two Black history pioneers, Alfred Robinson and Professor James H. Clayton. There'll be Black history raps, monologues, and lots of fun. For tickets, call Marvin Clayton, 310-741-1942. 310-741-1942.
Black history.
I want to welcome you on behalf of the EOP department, Dr. Franklin. He will be in shortly, hopefully, but either way, we're going to still go on. I'd like to bring up to the stage a good friend of mine I met about 6 years ago, and she's the radio personality for radio station KJLH, Miss Tammy Mack.
Everybody good today? Good? You found your way pretty good? So remember, donations are always encouraged. So even if you paid a $20 fee to get in, if you want to give a little more, just know that all of the money for the Apollo West Carson Players go to the kids and their education and continuing extracurricular activities through the arts, which is extremely important, and it keeps tons of kids off the streets and in a safe haven. So that's very necessary, and that's why I continue to do this with Marvin Clayton and the Apollo West Carson Players each and every year for each event that he has, because this is not the only one. So remember that the money also funds ongoing events that the Apollo West Carson Players have throughout the year. So this year, we're honoring someone very special from a very special organization, the Negro League.
Marilyn Dolakian, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Apollo West Carson Players, we would like for Spencer Laws to come up and Diane. Memorabilia things of Al, his stats in this picture. We have the one in the center table, but that stays in the archives of the Apollo West Carson Players. But each year we honor someone, we always give the family one also. So on behalf of the Apollo West Carson Players, Tammy and Marilyn want to present this to Spencer and Diane.
Yes, Mr. Charles Walker, please welcome him back.
But, gentlemen, say, I want you to read this part about James Clayton. Is this fine? Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to award me that, but you just didn't give it to me yet. You just had the wrong names.
She was asking about champagne.
Then you read that, right?
In 1978, James H. Clayton found his niche and second home when he became the first executive director of retention services and then the director of the Education Opportunity Program at CSUDH. James dedicated 17 years to creating educational and career opportunities for every student and faculty. He was very instrumental in helping Carson students to attend CSUDH. He would volunteer to recruit and tutor Carson students to keep their grade point average up and was highly motivated to encourage them with keeping their self-esteem high. During his time as director of EOP, the late Professor James H. Clayton saw a growing need among EOP students experiencing financial hardships as they attempted to pursue their educational and career goals. In response to this, and along with the help of the former EOP director, Dr. Gail Ball, he established the Educational Opportunity Program Scholarship Fund. This fund provides financial assistance each year to a student or students experiencing financial hardships that are not covered by financial aid.
It is my pleasure to talk about your brother, James Clayton. I've been a professor of speech and theater arts at this university for almost going on 25 years. And James Clayton was the reason that I'm here. Just like Josh and Satchel were heartbroken, I was heartbroken by, there are many things that we are heartbroken by. Is this all good? Yeah. Many things that we're heartbroken by. And I got my master's degree at Cal State LA, and then the job closed at Cal State LA. Dr. Sidney Rabeau, who was then at our university, said, I know somebody at Cal State Dominguez Hill. And I said, okay. And you know, when you're heartbroken, I know how many of y'all have been in love before? Who will admit that you've been in love before? And have been just shocked out of love because you were dumped. Okay? And that's how you feel when you get rejected. You just don't feel good. And so he said, I know Dr. Clayton over at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And so I came over and had a meeting with Dr. James Clayton. Now let me tell you about Mr. Clayton. Mr. Clayton, as Frank Buchanan will know, is a very strict black man. I don't know how many of you have been interviewed by anybody, but when you're interviewed, first of all, you're scared and nervous because you want the job. And so I sat in the interview room getting ready to be interviewed by James Clayton, and he walked, I was sitting there, and he walked past me, and you know, you want to size up who you're going to meet. He strutted by, and he looked at me. I said, what the hell are you looking at? You don't know who I am. I had my blue suit on. I was smaller at the time. Had a lot of hair on my head. I was all of that. Just got my, and who? No chips, hors d'oeuvres. Chicken sandwiches. Ain't no bag of chips in here. And he walked past me, and then I said, is that James Clayton? And she said, yes. So I walked to his office, and he said, sit down. I said, who is he? Frank, just treat me like some orphan from the South. And we talked, and he was, he just let me talk. And I've been here for 25 years. Brilliant man. He knew, and Marvin knew just as much. James could talk about anything. He was an excellent motivator. He made you feel, and he fought for the rights of students. Barack Obama would do well to know a James Clayton. You hear me? The Chrysler, General Motors, and Ford, we could have got money from them if James Clayton was living, even if they did get the bailout. But he was excellent. And I've preached a long time, and I've spoken across the country. Here's how you get your clothes, Tim. As I go to my seat, here is the thing I want to leave you. I was at preached a funeral yesterday. Was involved in a funeral yesterday. And the thing that struck me on this program was, Marvin, the man did nothing to leave a legacy. He had no children. He did nothing for the neighborhood. Did nothing. And what they tried to do in the obituary, in the eulogy, was to try to bring up something. And the question that I ask you as individuals here at this celebration is, what is your legacy? If you left today, what will people say about you? And if they are negligible in what they say about you, you need to start building a legacy. You need to start doing something so that when you leave, people will say, well done, what you did. James Clayton left a legacy, and Frank and I were talking earlier today. And Frank said, I remember this about James. And I remember this about him. Don't let your legacy be that you spent 15 years in jail. Don't let your legacy be that I sold dope in the neighborhood. Don't let your legacy be, I was always owing people money. Don't let your legacy be, I took, but I didn't give nothing back. What kind of legacy is that? Barack Obama is where he is because he is on the shoe straps, the shoelaces of many people who came before him. Carter Woodson, Negro History Week at Harvard University. Harriet Tubman. So many, and your mothers and fathers have built you an avenue so that you can leave a legacy. That's why young people can't come in my class with no hat on. Young people can't come in my class and sit in the back. I've taught them to do, I have not taught them. You know how they have yellow restricting lines when they have a crime scene? In my class, I've taped off the back row. You cannot sit in the back because we have invested too much in you for you to fail. Even if you don't do good, there was a statement made earlier. What Bobo said, we just wanted to play good. Didn't matter about no money. We just wanted to play good, and that's what we say today. This program and other programs across the nation celebrating Black History Month. It shouldn't be Black History Month. It should be Human Month every single month of the year. And the Bible says, the song says, if I can help somebody as I pass this way, then my living shall not be in vain. That's the legacy I want to live. I want to help somebody as I pass along. Because we know that our passing, our transition is not too long. It's over. God bless your peace and blessing.
Give it up. Give it up. So what is your legacy? What will it be? Certainly the men that we honor today have left a legacy, and that's the reason why we are here. And we continue to create and build legacies along the way. Marilyn will continue with our program.
First of all, I just wanted to thank you again. Please give yourselves another round of applause. I am going to bring up Otis Jackson, and he's gonna share his experience with James Clayton and how the EOP. I'm so sorry. Ooh, I was so moved by that. I got off track here. Daniel Cesarinos, he's gonna come and share how the EOP helped him. Give him a hand, everyone.
Thank you, Mary, for that nice introduction. And I at this time thank Martin Clayton for inviting me here today to help you celebrate Black History Month, and especially James Clayton. I started at the EOP program in 1975, and I graduated in 1979 from this university. Actually, it was Cal State Dominguez Hills, but back then, and during the time I was here, they changed to the university. But the EOP program, I didn't really spend a lot of time in the program. I mean, they got me into school, which was probably the best thing that ever happened in my life, because I used to always get these notices about coming to the meetings and all that, but I really tried to make it on my own here, but EOP opened the door for me to get into the campus, into this college, and I used to get all these little notices from James Clayton. I think I met him twice in my life here. And then talking to Martin one day, I go, Clayton, I go, guys, and then when his brother passed, I go, is that your brother? He goes, yes, that's my brother. I go, God, I've always wanted to go back to Dominguez Hills and thank him just for being there for me whenever I needed them. I didn't really actually need them, but I knew they were there to help me if I did need them. In terms of the tutoring program they offered, I even had a scholarship one time, and I got a little bit of money from the school, from the EOP program as well. But I stand here before you as a product of this university,
And you heard some mention to Dr. Gail Ball. She was in the program as well. We were all children. But we grew up under the tutelage of Mr. Clayton, because he did walk by and look at you. And I had another experience where he was a part of my other milestone. I decided that I wanted to get into student government here at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And eventually I involved the student body president. But it was only after he told me I was ready that I pursued that. Then, coming out of school here, having been student body president and graduating with a degree in public administration, I was trying to figure out where I was going to go. Because I kind of evolved to be under the tutelage of Mr. Clayton, a big fish in this environment. Until I decided I wanted to go and try to become a Senate fellow in the California legislature. Sent my application in. I went up and interviewed. They sent me an acceptance book. And Dr. O.W. Wilson, Frank Peters, James Clayton were the three folks who told me I needed to pioneer that opportunity to become the first student from Dominguez Hills to go off and work for the California legislature. So I did do that. I did that for 10 years and evolved into government work. Today, I serve as Chief of Legislative and Government Affairs for Caltrans District 7, which is Los Angeles and Ventura County. And I do tell people, get out to my office and go to your work. And I do walk past really quick. That don't take a lot of time, but when I do see a person that has adversity in their life and they knuckle down and they go through the extra effort to get themselves out of their situation, I take notice to them as well. Because there was someone in my life that wasn't really connected to me, but I was involved and around them, so the synergistic effect of them being the good persons that they were gave me some motivation. And the final thing I'm going to leave with you as a theme today is this. Back in the old school, there were people who were role models before the nuance of talking about role models ever came up. See you.
Is Dr. Franklin here? I don't think it. Frank, would you come up? Let's get Franklin on the update what the EOP is doing today and opportunities, if you can.
My name is Frank Urquidez. I'm the Assistant Director with the Education Opportunity Program, and I spent Jim Clayton's entire career here with him. Our Secretary, Doris Battle, said that we spent so much time together that Clayton and I became twins. And The man was an innovator and he was a visionary, and we were a ragtag young program. I got here in 1972 as a first-time freshman, alternative admissions program. I got kicked out of Compton College. I was a young veteran, just got back from Vietnam. School wasn't a real priority. I was just pursuing my GI Bill, and I wasn't going to class. I ran across a young man who worked for the Educational Opportunity Program. He says, "Are you a veteran?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, there's a way to get into school on and on," so I gave it a shot. I got in with really no intentions of doing well, and once I got here, I fell in love with the place, and we were on the quarter system, and I turned it around. Actually, Jim Clayton got here in 1975, and he had come from Temple University, Temple. And that was the beginning of a 17-year professional relationship. And I mean, he kicked down doors, and really the principles that he fought for and what he advocated still exist today. I was telling Charles Walker, I said, the more things stay the same, the more things stay the same. You know, he was at the forefront, and the EOP directors today, like Dr. William Franklin, the battles are still the same. You know, the principles are still the same, and the young people might change a little bit, but the principles are there, and the resources are there for them. In fact, you know, I always sound like the old uncle, you know, who went to Compton High in the snow up hills both ways. But we always stress with the students that the resources are here for you that didn't exist way back then. Some of the resources that exist now were due to what Jim Clayton had implemented way back in the late 70s. The Summer Bridge program, there's an academic advising center now. Those principles those resources that he foresaw are reality, just part of the common landscape now of the Cal States. I was the first EOP counselor to work directly with the Office of Financial Aid. He thought that there was not enough information getting disseminated to the information was not getting out to the EOP students, so he had me actually plugged into the financial aid office. And I was the first one within the Cal State system to ever do that. And that caused a big stir because in the late 70s, early 80s, everybody was so territorial. You know, the EOP directors didn't want to put their staff in financial aid directors didn't want, you know, outsiders in the financial aid office. Now every campus has a counterpart of EOP, either directly with financial aid or working, you know, indirectly with them. So EOP is alive and strong. You know, the funding, we all know about the budget, but the services for the students are still there. They're still there. The principles, the opportunities that existed for Otis, for myself, for David, are still there for the students and those that come in. We talk about the high-profile people of EOP, Danny Glover, Hilda Solis, but it's the unsung heroes. Our students that go back into the community, teach elementary school, who become nurses, who become policemen, who go into public service. Those are the folks who are not so high profile, who are not yet glamorous, but who gave back. Here, Charles Walker. For some reason, the EOP student is a very giving individual. You know, I know there was a time back in, I don't know, I forgot when, everybody wanted to be a business major, everybody wanted to be a young millionaire. Now they come in, you know, I want to be an elementary school teacher, I want to be a school psychologist, I want to be a social worker, you know, and that's been the nature of the EOP students up and down the state. So, again, EOP has changed, EOP has not changed. You know, I just celebrated my 30th professional year, but I've been part of EOP since the summer of 1972. I got hired as a student in November of 1974, and then Clayton hired me as a professional in 1977. So I've been on the payroll a long time, and you know, this has been my home. My son grew up here. I don't know, there's just not enough I can say about it. But Clayton, when we talk about EOP, we talk about Clayton. Some of the younger staff said, man, you know, because they hear about him when they go to these conferences, when they go to these meetings, and they say, man, I wish I knew Clayton. I wish I knew Clayton. If you know EOP, then you do know Clayton. Thank you.
Before bring Tammy and Marilyn back up, I just want to elaborate on, they have a reunion day in Champaign, Urbana, Illinois, called Champaign-Urbana Day. And I went there one time, and there was this guy that went through University of Illinois named Terry Townsend. And he put in a DVD, and he surprised me because the same thing that Jim Clayton is doing here, he was doing back in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, at the University of Illinois, Parkland Junior College, and all of that. And he just put it in because he said that he knew that Jim helped him to get through the University of Illinois. And he just did it as a surprise, and I knew he was doing it out here, but I was out here in California. He was back there doing it, and I didn't really know the involvement. And the same thing with Alfred Robinson. You know, we went to the same church, Salem Baptist Church on 5th Street in Champaign, Illinois. So I knew him very well also, and Jim knew him also. So those are some of the things that kind of date back as to why, you know, I think that I wanted to honor them, because we got, you see three other people on the table with Jim Clayton. Those are people that are in Carson, from Carson, that are Black historians also. You know, you've got your Black history people from the past, but you got people that we're talking about that make Black history make a difference for people today. And that's what I try to do, is try to recognize the people today that are accomplishing things for all Americans. So that's why, take a look at the memorabilia back there for me before you leave. But right now, I'd like to bring back up Marilyn K. Dorlack and Tammy Mack to introduce our next Black History rappers.
Thank you, everybody. And now, we're gonna bring up the Apollo West
Carson Players!
Bodies weak, and when they came to the colonies, they were not free. Black history, black history, black history, black history.
Treated like dirt, running like animals. Go for the white man with the most capital. If you try to find or reason, you could beat with a cup or a whip with a whip. I rap these words so truthfully, cause that's the way it was. Black history, black history, black history, black history, black history.
Slave trading on the auction block. Black people were a valuable stock. They worked real hard for no pay. And they got busy at the break of day. And they worked till the sun went down. And they worked and didn't sit around. Don't ever forget about slavery. Don't ever forget black history. Black history.
Black history,
Black history.
black history.
Behind each spirit. Spirit. Near it. Here.
I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud.
To get to freedom was a long, hard fight. I want to rap about the people who helped in the fight.
Letting air come because of the underground. A runaway slave that was never found. Back to the slave on a bridge to go forth. Runaway back to the star in the north. And a bounty on that M440G. Black history,
Black history,
black history.
Black history. And then there was Nat Turner took 57 states on the 6 feet under.
He gave the country a hell of a joke when he organized a slave revolt.
And don't forget about John Brown was a white man, but he was down against slavery, out and out right. If you owned a slave, you lost your life. Black history,
Black history,
black history.
black history. Like Benjamin Franklin, a black scientist, sojourner to the abolitionist.
Barack Obama, a man with a heart, pushing activists from the start.
Campaign for change,
With yes we can,
an American nation.
the president.
Black history,
Black history,
black history,
black history,
black history,
black history,
black history.
black history.
You know the words that freedom rings for the civil rights leader Martin Luther King. There was a time if you were black, you sat on the bus, you sat in the back. Another way now, but was like that thing people trip so hard on the color of his skin.
And if you went inside a restaurant, there was a sign in the front saying,
White only, no blacks allowed.
It's gonna change, is what he vowed, so began to plan and organize so people of color could have better lives.
Boycott, marches, and skins, you can't prepare to fight. You can't prepare to fight.
I'm afraid to die.
You can't prepare to fight.
God is out. Martin Luther King, a man of great vision, was sent from God on a mission. Stand up and fight the other limitations of prejudice and segregation.
Preaching and demonstration, change the face of the nation, let the whole world look and pay attention. When this man rap, the whole world is to be kill a man, but not his dream. We'll have martyr that will redeem. We shall overcome. We're not done, we shall overcome. We're not done, we shall overcome. God bless you, Martin Luther King.
This is another entity of what Marvin Clayton does for the community, getting kids into the arts, involved and educated. Please give it up for him again, y'all.
And also, everyone, I want to let you know that you can give a donation if you'd like on your way out. We can always use a little extra help, y'all. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, Marilyn and Tammy. Let's give them some love, y'all. I want to bring Diane up. She didn't speak earlier, but let's give Els a hand, please, Diane.
On behalf of my family, I would just like to thank the Apollo West Carson Players for honoring my husband Al. He was pretty humble, so he didn't talk about a lot of his accomplishments, but I'm sure he would be very proud. And as my nephew Spencer said, we're family. Spencer was actually Al's nephew, but I love him just as though he is my nephew. And I'd like to recognize my family, my son Michael, his wife Suzanne, Spencer, his friend Andy, my daughter Robin, my son-in-law Larry Latimer, and my granddaughter Naya Latimer. I'm a native Californian, but I have been to Champaign. And it is a real small town, but it's a college town, and they're all friendly there. But I love California. I met Al in California, and I just really can't thank Marvin enough for this honor, and I do appreciate it, so thank you.
Thank you, Diane. On behalf of the California State University Dominguez Hills EOP Department and the Apollo West Carson Players, we want to thank you very much for coming out and supporting our 23rd annual Black History Celebration. Drive safely home. Thank you.
Everybody, what we have to say. But the times of yesterday.
Black history.
Black history.
Black history. Treated like dirt, violent like animals. Go to the white man with the most capital. If you try to find or reason for beef with a cup or a whip with a whip, I'd rather you work so truthfully, cause that's the way it was. Black history. Black history.
Black history.
Black history.
Black history. Slave trading on the auction block. Black people work a valuable stock. They work real hard for no pay. They got busy at the break of day. And they worked till the sun went down. And they worked and didn't sit around. Don't ever forget about slavery. Don't ever forget black history. Black history.
Black history.
Black history.
Black history.
Banana
Spirit. Spirit. Near it. Here. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud.
To get to freedom was a long hard fight. I want to rap about the people who
Here it comes to the underground. A runaway slave that was never found. Black as a slave, when a prince to go forth. Runaway back to the star in the north. And a bounty on that M440G. She risked her life to make a people free. Black history.
Black history.
Black history.
Black history. And then there was Nat Turner to a 57 slave on the 6 feet under.
He gave the country as a result, really organized a slave revolt.
And don't forget about John Brown was a white man, but he was down against slavery, out and outright. If you owned a slave, you lost your life. Black history.
Black history.
Black history.
Black history. Like Benjamin Banneker, black scientist, sojourner to the abolitionist.
Barack Obama, a man with a heart, pushing excellence from the start.
Campaign for change.
With yes we can,
An American made him.
the president.
Black history.
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 You know the words that freedom rings for the civil rights leader Martin Luther King. There was a time, if you were black, you sat on the bus, you sat in the back. Another way now, but was at that thing, you would trip so hard on the color of your skin.
And if you went inside a restaurant, there was a sign in the front saying,
White only, no blacks allowed.
It's gonna change, is what he vowed, so began to plan and organize so people of color can have better lives.
Boycotts, marches, and skins, you can't pacify. You can't pacify.
I'm afraid to die.
You can't pacify.
God is out. Martin Luther King, a man of great vision, was sent from God on a mission. Stand up and fight the other limitations of prejudice and segregation.
Preaching and demonstration, change the face of the nation, let the whole world look and pay attention. When this man rap, the whole